Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 28th. It is 6:20 right now. We got market opening up in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. And, but we are good to go. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Over to the 8-hour time frame. Going over to the 1 hour. Going over to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. I'll mark up all the zones here so we can look at breakage structures. We got a lot of liquidity kind of sitting all over the place. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 28th. It is 6:24 right now. We have market opening up in about 6 minutes. I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity is right here where price is currently at. This is probably going to get hit pre-market. The level above it is going to be at 44,910. So this is going to be the next level up here. Lower level down here is going to be at 44,847. So we got two levels of liquidity closest to current price right there. Yeah, this one just got hit. So I'm going to just take this one off. So with that said, we got a lot of liquidity hanging out up here, guys. Ton of liquidity is hanging out there. We got some liquidity down here too, but the upper liquidity is closer. With that said, I think we had some news this morning. Let me check real quick. Got some news this morning. So we had news over here at 5:30. It was high impact. I'm gonna mark that up. We have more news at 7 o'clock. So we had news at 7 o'clock, medium impact. We have news over here at 5:30. Oops. News at 5:30, this little down right there. All right, so with that said, there goes the main chart. I'm gonna go over here to the market structure bias. I'm gonna market the structure from yesterday. Let's see. So market closed. And this is a huge zone. Okay, so I think I'm gonna look for price to push to the upside, I guess. Okay, so we got market structure right here. This is the market structure from yesterday, guys. So market closed around this area yesterday. This was the close. This is yesterday's close, and then this like big zone right here is basically the high and the low of yesterday's close. So yeah, we're gonna look for price to probably push above here, and we'll probably look for some entries on this upper side. I mean, it doesn't have to be up here, but ideally probably up here because it does line up with the liquidity, which is above. So that is probably where price is likely to, continue pushing. So we'll keep looking for that there. As market opens up, we have 4 minutes until market open. Let's see. Jason says he can't hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? If anyone can confirm. See who's here so far. Morning, Maria. Morning, Karen. Morning, Lila. Morning, Christian. Morning, Daniel. Morning, everybody. Let's see. Everyone says they hear me. Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Lila. Thank you, Patricia. Thanks, iPhone. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, guys. All right, perfect. So looks like we're good to go. Morning, Valentine. All right, guys. So we have market structure here. Again, I'm looking for price to push above this area to look for some entries. Looking over here at our main chart, we have liquidity getting knocked out here. Like I said, price is probably going to try to push up past this area, and that's kind of where price is currently going right now. You can see over here, price is trying to knock out these upper levels of liquidity targets. Looking at our clean chart, got some levels over here. SR chart, got some SR zones right here as well. So we got market opening up shortly. I'll tell you guys the direction of the breakout as soon as we get to this last candle here. I'm still going to hold off on the breakouts, guys. I know the breakout played pretty nice yesterday, but I'm still going to hold off on it, at least for now, because I'm trying to figure out, how consistent this volatility is. So looking at the breakout for today, it's looking like it's going to be a buy entry. So if you guys are looking to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys here. I'm not going to take it myself. But I will follow it here. ATR is currently at 11, so we got market opening up shortly in about a few minutes here. Let me check I'm looking at the time and sales to see who may be in control today. Looks like it's a little mixed right now. It's a little mixed. We got market opening up shortly in about 30 seconds. So guys, breakout for today is going to be a buy. iPhone's asking full TP yesterday. Why aren't you getting in on the breakout? I'm not getting in on the breakout because I'm not sure how consistent it is. This has been happening for the past couple of weeks. Like Monday would be like a really nice volatile move, and then the rest of the week is pretty choppy. So I need to make sure that it stays volatile before I, hop back into it because I can't keep eating. Like I can't miss the win and then, eat the next loss and stuff like that because that's typically what's been happening to me lately. All right, so looking at the time and sales, guys, market is now open. We are in for a buy on the breakout. Looking at the time and sales, it's pretty mixed right now. I don't see too many orders in one direction or the other. It's pretty much just going back and forth as we speak. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the 50-point mark here so that we can see when 50 points is hit. and then I will continue to follow it. So again, I'm not in the breakout, guys. I'm just following it here. I'm waiting for it to see if like the breakout is going to stay consistent before I continue taking it. Right now, I'm just going to stick to the regular scalps on the accounts. If you guys are looking to take some micro scalps are currently for a buy right now so far. The ATR is very low, so I wouldn't necessarily look for some micro scalps at the moment. Like you need some volatility in the market to take these micro scalps. So the ATR isn't, I wouldn't say it's high enough for the micro scalps to really push through very smoothly. So I'm going to mark an opening candle right here. There goes the opening price. Right there, we got news right here. Price rejected off the news. I'm looking at the time and sales. The buyers look like they're trying to get in control here, but it is a little mixed. There are some sellers that are trying to push price down, but for the most part, the buyers are in control here as they're pushing price a little higher. So I'm going to go and mark up a green line, which is right here. This is going to indicate that the buyers are currently in control. Some retracement right here, but not very strong. So the buyers are currently in control right here. You can see price has been pushing from this lower end. If price continues to fall down here and it starts to create a pattern, then I'll mark a red line here. But if it doesn't create a pattern, I'm going to keep it for bullish until we confirm the retracement has actually happened. So I'm not in any positions here right now. I'm just following this here as price continues to, obviously move along here. Currently have a sell signal that's up. Let's see. Brock's not here yet. I was going to ask Brock if he was planning on taking the his entry here for MPS V2. I'm probably going to stick to some buys for now, at least until I see price really push down enough. Not really looking at taking any sells here, at least not yet. Because I need to confirm that price is actually going to stay down here. Right now, it's not really confirmed at the moment. If you guys are looking to take these market flow V2s, your sell order would be waiting here in a few. At the low of the candle, of course. This candle's got about like 14 seconds on it. So again, if you guys want to take these micro scalps, I'm not taking them because I'm trading like 40 accounts right now. It's hard to copy 40 accounts without any slippage. So if you do want to take these micro scalps, I would mainly take them only on Apex accounts or a personal account. The micro scalp would be waiting down here. But you guys can see how choppy the market is right now. This is the reason why I was kind of worried about taking the breakout for myself personally, because it's not really moving directionally. Typically you want it to just go one direction, whether it be to the upside or whether it be to the downside. Right here, you can see it's going back and forth. So from what I'm seeing here, the breakout's still running. Yeah, the breakout is still running right there. It's now in profit again. But like I said, this is like what's been happening over the past couple months. It's like super annoying that like it doesn't stay consistent because you want it to just go in one direction or the other, right? You want it to go straight up. You don't want this choppiness here because when you get this choppiness, this is where the uncertainty comes into play and you're kind of like worried, like, okay, what's next? So breakout's currently running in profit. We're still pushing up above this area. Like I said, I want price to be above this area before I start looking for some entries because if market is down here, if price is down in this box, this is going to indicate that market is inefficient, right? It shows you that price is pretty much where it was yesterday. It hasn't really moved out of this box. We want price to move out of here, whether it be above it or below it. Ideally above it, of course, because this is the closest area for it to get out of. And there we go, as price pushes up. Breakout's running in profit pretty nicely. It's almost at that 50-point mark. We have a buy signal here. So liquidity here got knocked out. This liquidity got knocked out as well. We have two sessions right here. So it's a little tough to take any entries around this specific area right now. So I will be continuing to follow it. Breakout looks like it might have hit 50 points, almost there. So the breakout's almost at that 50-point mark. Again, like you can see here, price isn't very stable. It's moving, but it's not really one-sided. That's like the biggest downside to this. Looking at the time and sales, it's pretty mixed, but the buyers are trying to push price higher. It's getting pumped right now. Has about, let's see, has about 10 orders that just came in right now. Almost 20 orders just filled. So I think the buyers are going to be in control here as it looks like. So the buyers are still in control. I will be looking for possible opportunities for MPS V2 as price continues to climb up. Let's look at the price action here. This price continues to climb up higher. So we got liquidity target up here, liquidity target here, liquidity target right here that just got hit. All right, so we got price climbing up right now. Buyers are pushing up price even higher. We're currently at the sessions, though. This is a red flag area. I believe the 50 points have gotten hit. So 50 points here got hit for the breakout, guys. If you guys have your stop loss set at 50 points, looks like you might have gotten stopped out in profit already. Otherwise, the breakout is still currently running. So I'm looking for opportunities here for entry now. This is just not a good area to trade in because there's a bunch of sessions right here, right? So I'm going to be patient, not going to force any trades around the sessions over here. Well, I can't really take any trades around here to begin with, so be looking for opportunity here. So we had price push up. We had the sellers kind of push price down a little bit right here, not very strongly, but they did push price down slightly, and then it pushed it right back up. So I don't think I need a markup two right here because this is just a small retracement. The sellers never really got in control. It was just a quick little retracement to the downside. So buyers have been controlled here since 549 pre-market. Price pushed up, retraced, and then came back higher from here. So push up, retrace, came back higher from here. We'll see if we identify a high here or a top. We have to just kind of wait here for that to confirm. I'm looking for price action patterns here to indicate that the reversal is happening. I don't think a reversal here is happening. I think price is probably going to swing right back up from here. But there's no entries for MPS V2s. As you guys can see, we're currently at the session, so not really much here. I don't see a V1 pattern, no double body, no double wick. I don't see any engulfing pattern, so this here might just be another retracement. So there's two things that may happen here. Price may retrace just like it did here and come back up, or this could be the top and price might swing back down from here, right? But if you look at the market conditions and you look at the market structure, it's the same thing that we've been dealing with over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months. There's not really too much of a solid consistency. Yes, price is pushing up, but it's not consistent. It like pushes up, retraces down, comes back for consolidation, etc. Here's the clean chart. This is probably a little easier to see. Let me just mark this up right there. So it's a little easier to see here as price kind of like consolidates around this middle area, right? This is where the consolidation is really happening. It kind of pushed up a little bit. Now it's ranging between the 950 price and the 900 price. These two price points is where price is bouncing off of. Price push up, bounce, push down, bounce, and obviously sideways consolidation here. Let's go here to our SR chart. Yeah, it's kind of just sitting right here at the support. I mean, it looks like price might break and retest this area and come back higher. Ideally, I'm looking for price to push back up. That's kind of where I'm looking for price to go. Again, but price is sitting right here down the middle. And you can see how price is having trouble getting past the sessions right here. Okay, this might be a pattern for price to push back up. This right here would be an MPS V2. And actually, never mind, I take that back. It didn't close above this line. So if this closed above this line right here, this would have been an MPS V2, the trade we've been taking Brock's entry. The only problem is that we're right here at the session, so it's not one that I would take. It's considered a red flag because of these red flags right here, obviously. You don't really want to take trades that have to cut into the red flags. So I mean, it's running, but this is the problem because whenever price gets near this area, I ideally bounce off it. So you don't really want to take trades like that. But it is running here right now as we speak. Breakout's still running right now. It's currently still in profit. We're finally getting out of the market structure here that I was talking about earlier this morning. Again, this is the market structure from yesterday's close. And you want price to get out of this area so that we can be where market is efficient outside of previous market structure. So we'll continue to follow it here. There we go with the MPS V2. It just hit full TP. If anybody decided to take that, like I said, it was a risky entry specifically because of the sessions here. But there was a couple confluences here that looked good. We had an engulfing candle plus price pushed through this area right there. So I'll keep looking for entries here. There'd be another opportunity right here, actually. This would be the actual NPS V2. This one over here was the actual entry. This was an engulfing candle. So this right here was an engulfing entry because you had price come down. This green candle engulfed this one. So this was an engulfing pattern. That was engulfing entry. This is the actual NPS V2 right here. It's this this second candle because this one here didn't close above this momentum signal, but this one did. So as soon as this one over here closed above it, this was the actual entry for Barack's strategy for the NPS V2. Yeah, this one would have been another good entry, but again, it was at the sessions right here, so I didn't take it. Hey, Brock just joined in on the room so far, so it looks like Brock just, I'm not sure if you caught the trade, Brock, but your entry came up here. It was at the red flags. So your MPS V2, we had the buy signal here, price pushed up, retraced, came back up right here on this candle, and it hit for 20 points right there. Breakout's still running, guys, if anybody's holding on to the breakout. Like I said, breakout's kind of tricky, but it is still running in profit right now as we speak. So breakout's running, market structure's right here. It's above the market bias. Be looking for the next opportunity here as price continues to, obviously move around. So right here again, this was an engulfing pattern, and then this right here was MPS V2. We want price to stay away from the sessions. We don't really want to be around here where the sessions are currently at. Trying to look at price action here, see if there's anything else. So I'm looking at price action in both directions, guys. I'm looking for, so I'm looking back at this candle right here. The price action was actually really good on this specific candle right here. I just can't see that very well. But this first entry point right here, the price action here was really good because this is a double body rejection. So this is a V1 pattern. And then also it was engulfing. So that's the two confluences. And then the third confluence is the confirmation over here for the MPS V2. So if you didn't get in on this right here, you could have gotten in on this. The only problem is that it was at the sessions, which is a red flag. So it's going to sit tight, be a little patient here, not going to force anything. I just want price to really get away from the sessions. I don't want to be trading around this middle area here. Hey, Brock, morning. Let's see, Javier said, good morning, Sean. How does the incoming flow volume look like? So looking at the time and sales right now, it's a little mixed. We don't have any big orders like we did yesterday. Like yesterday, we had a lot of big orders that came in. The most recent big order that came in was at 641. So at 641, we had about 30 buy orders which came in. That's kind of what pushed price right here when price came, floating to the upside right there. I think there's going to be a correction back to the upside because we did get some big buy orders right here at 641. And now they're going to get pushed up right here. They're going to get pumped back up. So right here, again, this is another engulfing pattern. So this here, it looks like it's going to engulf this candle. And this is a reversal pattern back to the upside, which is higher. So yeah, looking at the time and sales, we have big buy orders, which came in at 641, which is a couple of minutes ago. And I think, it'll probably have some follow through here if we have some more buy orders that fill in. So again, this is another engulfing pattern. This is a price action pattern, which indicates a reversal to the upside. See that price come down, price came below. This is shows the buyers are back in control. The big buy orders came in on this red candle actually, so it might have some follow through a little later. They put like about 30 orders in. It's not a big order. I would say it's like more so like a medium order, or not even a medium order. It's like it's a bigger than average order for the most part. But the sellers are pushing price down. Look at the time and sales. There's a lot of sellers that just flooded in right now. Let me check how many came in. About 40 orders came in. So they're pushing price right now down to the sell side. So this is why it's key. Like even if you're looking at price action and you're looking at the candlesticks, I still look at the time and sales to see if they're actually in control. Like we had this engulfing candle right here, but there were no more buy orders that followed it. So even though I do see the pattern right here, I don't necessarily just jump in. I try to see if the time and sales indicate that the buyers are actually pushing price. Because just because we have a big candle here doesn't necessarily mean or just because we have a certain candle there doesn't mean that, they're going to be in control. So like for this right here, I don't see any reversals for a sell side yet. Like I don't see any double body rejections here. I do see an engulfing pattern right here. So that might be the pattern that indicates that price is retracing back to the downside. So as of now, I'll just put a red line right here just to hint that, price might be coming down. Because you can see over here, we had price pushed up pretty heavily from this green bar, price pushed up. And then from here, we have an engulfing candle. We have a green candle here, a bigger red candle. This is a price action pattern indicating a reversal back to the downside. However, we had another one down here, so they kind of conflicted. But you can see this one over here was invalidated because price came down very sharply. And now that price has come down very sharply, we can kind of indicate that, okay, this is probably the top, right? So now that we have the top right here, what we can look for next is we can look for price to retrace down, push up, and come back down further. Because this might be a drop to the downside because we do have the confirmation of reversal up here. So, it's a back and forth. It's a back and forth game here, guys. You have to be actively managing or actively monitoring the chart and analyzing to make sure that you're on the right side of the market. Because we can't really confirm this until this actually happens as a big candle. Hard to confirm. We got a liquidity target here, so if price does push lower, this is where price is probably going to aim for, of course. Gotcha. Yeah. So Brock took a loss pre-market. He's going to be trying to bounce back from that. Yeah. So we'll look for your the MPS V2 over here, possibly, Brock. Let me check the time and sales. I want to see. There's a lot of sell orders that just flooded in right now. Smaller sell orders, about 1 or 2 contracts. They're starting to flood in. We just had like 40 contracts come in right now for some sells on the time and sales. So the sellers are definitely in control right now. They're pushing price even further. So I'll be looking at this for possible entry for the MPS V2, Brock. We'll see if we can maybe get in over here somehow. The only problem that I'm a little worried about is that these candles here are too big, right? They're huge. So kind of want to confirm here first before we jump into anything here. I'm going to keep looking at the time and sales to see if there's going to be any opportunity here for us to get in. Yeah, they're a little big right here. So we don't have that retracement yet, guys. I'm looking for, there we go. The liquidity here pretty much got knocked out. There's no opportunity for entry yet. I mean, if you guys want to take the micro scalps, the micro scalp would have happened right here. Again, if you want to take another micro scalp, it's going to happen right here. You want to put your penny order at some point. We have a break of structure right here. So we have price break and close past structure. That's another confirmation of continuation. Let me see if there's any other targets down here. Okay, so we have another liquidity target down here. We have another one down here. Oops. Got a couple liquidity targets down here. So price can continue dropping. If you guys took a micro scalp right there, looks like it pushed down quite a bit. Filled in right there, pushed down about 12 points. And it's still dropping right now. See, the ATR is not high enough for me right now to take these micro scalps. I mean, they're decent, but it's only 26 ATR. I like to take these micro scalps when the ATR is like above 30. The thing is, this here can kind of slow down a little bit. And at this point, I think it's a little overextended, guys. I don't know if I would take MPS V2 down here. I would look for patterns, though. So I would look for certain patterns. If we get a MPS V2 and it's an engulfing pattern, then I would possibly take it. But I mean, it looks like price is it's due for some retracement. All right, so we have this right here. Price is starting to retrace up. And then we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. So we have about 10 minutes till news. So we have a retracement here. The only time the only way I would take a MPS V2 here, which is Brock's strategy, I would take it only if this is an engulfing candle, which I don't think it's going to be engulfing here. Yeah. It's not going to be engulfing because the candle closed below it right here. There's a little gap. So if you guys want to take this, I mean, I'll mark it up for you guys right here. I'm not going to take it myself, guys. I'm going to be on the safer side here. Because I think this is a little overextended at this point. Like this candle would have to close really, really big for it to be engulfing. Like a big red candle right here. It still wouldn't engulf the candle, but it would be basically an engulfing type pattern. So if you guys want to take this, I'll mark it up. I'm going to be safe today. I think this is a big drop. It's due for some retracement. Yeah, this thing dropped from up here. It's almost 200 points. So I'm going to sit out on this entry here. This is a MPS V2 Brock strategy. Candle's closing in about 5 seconds. I'm not taking Brock. So if you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. It's running right there right now. I was only going to take it if it was an engulfing candle, like if we had a red candle that was coming back down. So I'm just following it here for you guys if you guys want to take it, but I'm not taking here. I think price is overextended. There was no engulfing candle down here. So I'm like mixing price action concepts with our entries. I'm using them as a confluence. So we'll follow it right here. I'm not in the position, guys. I'm just following it. There just wasn't any confluence here for me to take it. I'm looking at the time and sales right now. The time and sales they're pretty mixed. So I don't really see much on the sell side indicating that, you know, price is coming down. I'll keep watching it. If I see a lot of sell orders come in, I'll maybe get in for a late entry. Like I'll put a penny order there. But I see a lot of buy orders here just flooding in, so I'm not really feeling comfortable with the entry right now, unless I see some big orders come in. I got some like pretty mixed buy and sell orders right now. A lot of buy orders coming in. So I'm definitely not looking to take anything here or even get into this late. The time and sell is showing a ton of buy orders here. Yeah, it's not looking like price is going to come back down, at least not yet. So what I'll do here is I can possibly place, let's see. I'll put a limit order right here for a sell. Because I do see the seller starting to come back in. So I put a limit order right there. If it comes back down and fills it. You know, I'm gonna cancel it actually. I put it in the wrong place. Canceled. Sorry, I like literally put it in the wrong place. Never mind. I'm gonna wait off on this. Because I put it a little too low here. I was actually supposed to put it a little higher. But I'm looking at the buyers and the buyers are not in. There's no specific direction of price to like have control right now. I'm looking at the time and sales and they're pretty much mixed. I see clusters of like 5 buys, 5 sells. I was gonna try to get in a little late right here and put a penny order, but I ended up putting my order down here for some reason. And thankfully it didn't get filled. So I'm gonna hold off on this for now. We'll continue following. If I see a pattern here, so this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to come up, and if I see an engulfing candle, a big red candle that comes down and eats this candle, then I'll come in for a late entry. But right now, the time and sales, there's no big orders coming in. So like there's a lot of these smaller 1 contract orders that are kind of floating in, but there's no single direction. The last big order was at 651. It was 10 contracts, which came in like right here. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with taking any trades down here. I'll look to see if price comes back up. But looking at this here so far, there's no reverse. Actually, there is. So there's an engulfing candle this way, the opposite direction. So this right here is an engulfing candle. So this is a reversal pattern back to the upside. At this point right here, if I was in the position, I probably would have just flipped my position or I would have just gotten out of it. I just realized I was engulfing right there. So like, it's the same thing that happened up here. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for these reversal patterns. See how right here we had the buyers in control, then price came up, then we had an engulfing candle right here. So I was like, okay, the sellers are back in control. Now that we have price pushing up right here and we have an engulfing right here, this indicates that we do have buyers back in control. Like I said earlier, this was a huge range right here, or not a huge range, but a huge drop from this upper side to this lower end. It was about 176 points, about 200 points almost. That's why I was looking for possible reversal back to the upside. Now that we have this here, I can maybe take this here for a buy. The only problem is we have news right here at 7 o'clock. So I might not even take any trades from now until news. The news that's coming up at 7 o'clock is CD consumer confidence. This is inflation news at 7 o'clock. It's medium impact. It's forecasted to be positive. So we'll see what happens there in a few. Let's see, question from Daniel. Daniel said, doesn't there have to be a red candle before it's an entry? So looking at Barack's requirements, he doesn't require a red candle. I personally do. So for me, I like to see an engulfing candle. So if you ever look at the entries that we took prior, like you look at the entries that we took yesterday, I look for this engulfing. See this right here? So Barack's entry would have been on the same candle, but for me, I was looking for, and I'll make this, can I make it bigger? I was looking for this engulfing right here. So see how his entry was on this candle, but coincidentally, this is also an engulfing candle. That's why I took it. So for me, I'm a little more selective. Barack, he likes to just enter the trades when it comes up, but for me, I like looking for some sort of confluence. I look at the price action to make sure that, okay, price is probably going to keep pushing in that direction. So yeah, for the most part, that's what I that's what I look for. I look for the indication that price is actually going that direction. So like if Barack had an entry right here, I would be looking for a V1 pattern that was like somewhere nearby, or an engulfing pattern that was somewhere nearby as well. That's what I was saying. I said I was only going to take the entry here if this candle was going to be a big red candle that was engulfing this one, which it wasn't. This one here didn't end up closing with the big red candle, and that's why I didn't take it. So we got news coming up right here in about 3 minutes, 7 o'clock, CD consumer confidence. We'll see how this pushes price, and I'll look for some more entries over here as well. Yeah, Brock took the entry here and he lost. It's all good, Brock. Take the next one. Yeah, I gave a bunch of warnings right here, Brock. I'm not sure if you were listening to me because I mentioned that price was overextended and I said I wasn't going to take it. And the only time I was going to take it is if there was going to be an engulfing candle here. This candle for sure couldn't be engulfing because it gapped down. So this wouldn't be able to eat this green candle right here. So for me, I was looking for that engulfing candle. If I had that engulfing candle, I would have entered it. And then I was looking to possibly get in later because I thought this candle was going to be engulfing, but it ended up swinging all the way back up. So that's why I ended up not taking it at all. Okay, we have another engulfing candle right here. So we have, let's see. I'm going to put a red bar right here. It's not a very strong engulfing candle, but it's right here. This is the same pattern that I was looking for down there for Barack's entry. I want to make sure that there was a reversal confirmation before I got into the position. Yeah, I know. I think you're trading on tilt, Brock. I think you should probably take a step back because you did have a loss pre-market, and then you're trying really hard to make that loss back. So I think you're trading on tilt right now. You're not on top of your game. So I would probably, and you said you're a little bit distracted as well. I would probably sit back for a little bit, Brock. Regain your confidence, and then get back into the market because it seems like. Well, I mean, this right here it just wasn't a good entry. Like the whole setup wasn't good. I was looking like I would look for some sort of reversal coming down here, or not. It doesn't even have to be a reversal. It could be some sort of continuation or confirmation. But we didn't have any confirmation right here. It was just a big drop, right? Like this over here wasn't even engulfing. It was engulfing from way up here. So if you're using this as a confluence, like the entry was down here, it's already 100 points away from the reversal. If we had one of these engulfing candles or a V1 variation somewhere down here, then I would have been okay because that would have been like, all right, price came down, retraced, then it's coming back down further. But because we didn't have that retrace, the retrace actually happened right here, Brock, where you got caught. So it's all good. I mean, it happens, right? You have to be analyzing the market fully. I was also looking at the time and sales. The sellers weren't really in control today, or they're not in control right now, at least. Like I'm waiting for those big orders to come in. The big orders are eventually going to come flooding in at some point whenever these big players start to make their moves. But right now, they're not really making moves. Price is kind of just going, back and forth at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said candles way too big on that drop. I agree, Patricia. That's why for me too, I was like, this is way too far down. And another thing too, Brock, remember we talked about this? I said if the candles are too big, we got to skip them, right? This candle was too big, 60 points. So just I would say go back and like review the stuff we talked about, Brock. This here, like the candle here was obviously like way too big. This was too big, 60 points. This is too big, 60 points. The reason why you don't want to take trades when the candles are this big is because your stop loss is 30 points, right? So if your stop loss is 30 points and the range of these candles are 60 points, one candle can just stop you out. So just like I said, just sit back for a second. Sit back for a second, let the market here kind of stabilize a little bit. Once it stabilizes, and then it starts to move directional again, we can start looking for the next opportunity. I have the red bar here marked up. I don't think this is going to hold. If it doesn't hold, that's fine. It looks like we're just going into consolidation here right now. So I'm going to take this off for the moment. And price looks like it might just be consolidating right here. Let's move this over. I mean, it looks like price is finally breaking out of it already. So it didn't really consolidate for that long. So this here might be another one of your entries, Brock. This is another MPS V2. This one here actually looks like a good one. I'll take this one here for a buy. Let's see.
Order submitted.
And fix the TP. All right, got it right there. Full TP.
Order filled.
Not bad. Locking 1,000 on that trade. Pretty quick. I just had to manually close it. I didn't have my TP stop loss set up properly. So I just got out. So Brock win right here. So let me show you guys why I decided to take this one here. Again, I didn't take this one here because there's no confirmation, right? Like I told you guys, there was no confluences here to take the MPS V2, but right here we had a lot of confluences. So look how price pushed up. We had the buy signal. We had an engulfing candle right here. See this red candle right here? This green one engulfed. So this indicated that there was a reversal back to the upside. Price pushed up. We had the start over here. I had the green bar already marked up. I said buyers are in control. I saw price push up, consolidated right here. I saw that reversal pattern right here. Price pushed up. This candle right here broke past this momentum signal. So this was a confirmation for the MPS V2, which is Brock's strategy. When this was closing up here, it had like about 5 seconds left on it. I looked over to the time and sales. The time and sales showed that that the buyers were in control. So with the time and sales showing that, confirming 2 confluences, I just took the entry before the candle even closed, got in that perfect entry, price pushed up, hit TP. My TP was set at 60, so I just ended up closing it manually because I didn't want to hold on to it for too long. So there goes my confluence right there. This is what I look for, guys. So like this goes back to like what Wes said, right? Like Wes was like, it needs to be a green candle. For Brock's specific strategy, he doesn't need a green candle. He doesn't need a specific candle in that direction. But for me personally, I like to add that as a confluence because I want to see a pattern. So looking at this engulfing here, there was 2 engulfing. There was like 3 confluences that I looked at. There was engulfing right here. The actual entry candle was also engulfing. I know there was a red flag here was at opening price, but I'm okay with opening price versus the sessions. So yeah, those were my confluences, and those are the reasons why I took that there for an MPS V2 versus not taking this one right here. This one right here just didn't have any confluences. This one had 1 engulfing, 2 engulfing. The time and sell showed buyers entering the market. So when I saw the buyers entering the market, I just took my market order right there. Didn't even think twice. Took it, entered it, hit my TP. My TP was a little higher. I guess I could have held on to it for at least like maybe 30 points, but it's okay. I'll just, I'm happy with what I locked in right there. So let me just take a screenshot of this real quick, or let's take a screenshot of the breakout first. The breakout hit 50 points over here, guys. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this first so that you guys can have that. Partial TP for the breakout. I didn't take it, but we're still gonna document it as, price continues to move along. We have some profits over here from Jonathan. So Jonathan got out at 50 points right there. He locked in 1,000, so 990 right there in profit. Nice work, Jonathan. Took the breakout for 50 points. Like I said, guys, I'm not taking the breakout right now because there's no consistency right now. It's still going back and forth. Like in the situation right here, if you took the sell, you still would have lost because it hit 50 points first before it would have hit, you know, the movement down there. So we still got a choppy move there for the breakout. Anyways, here is the entry for the MPSV2. There's no other entries here right now available, guys, so don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. So this is a full TP. Or I'll just call it MP, momentum pullback scalp V2 for 20 points. All right, there's no entries here right now. Let me just mark up the new liquidity. So there's new liquidity that's right here. This is a liquidity target. And then we have liquidity right here as well, which is also a liquidity target. And then one more down here as well. Liquidity target. Okay, so with that said, we'll continue to look for some more opportunities here. Basically gonna look for this to probably swing back down. Yeah, did you see what I meant right there, Barack, with the entry? So like for yours down here, there was just no confluences, so I didn't really look to take anything there. Right here, there was two confluences. We had the buy signal, price retraced down, and then I waited for it to push back up. We had a engulfing candle here. This is a reversal pattern, so this means that price came down, reversal back up. And then again, right here, there's another engulfing, so it was like a double engulfing. And it indicated that, okay, price here is strong for a buy. So when this closed, I actually got in before it even closed, like 5 seconds before, because the time and sale showed a lot of buy orders. And that's why I took this one versus the one that you took down here. It was just more confluences. It looked better. There was more analysis there. And it's all good, you know, like, yeah, Brock said, yeah, he messed up a little bit with the entry, was a little distracted. So no worries, Brock. You know, I know you're distracted and it happens sometimes, right? Life happens. So you'll bounce back on the next one. Yeah, Brock had FOMO on that trade, which is okay. The good thing is that you're taking responsibility for it, Brock, and you're not blaming the strategy, right? I think once you start blaming the strategy, that's when things start to go downhill. Because then you don't believe in the strategy anymore, even though the strategy worked perfectly fine when you have good confluences and you have good setups, you know, to your disposal. So let me go and take a screenshot of my accounts over here. I got a lot of accounts here, so again, I have to take double screenshots because this is just not going to, I'm not going to be able to cover the whole thing. How am I going to do this? Here, I'll just do this. Trying to think how to screenshot this. I'll screenshot the top half first, and then I'll screenshot the lower half after. There we go. This works. All right. I'll post this in the Zoom real quick. There's no big orders that came in today, though. I'm like waiting for that target sound to come up that hasn't came up yet. Yeah. It's crazy trading like 40 accounts like this. It's a lot. It's a lot to look at. All right, there's no entries here right now. I'm just waiting for another opportunity to come up. But here are my profits. And this thing looks crazy. So here's my setup right here. You know, obviously with the time and sales, this is I mean, this is what my computer looks like. So if you guys are wondering what my laptop looks like, this is what it looks like here. I have these are my profits. Here's my time in sales, all my accounts. I have like 40 accounts here, and here are my profits. So I locked in about basically this, like 20 of the accounts up here are all hedge accounts. So probably a couple thousand here for the hedge accounts, and then locked in 1,000 over here on my main account, and then down here is my prop account. So I locked in 1,000 on my main account, my personal one, and then 1,000, 785, 885, 948. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I basically locked in like about like 20,000 for the day across the accounts, maybe 30,000. So here are all my profits right here for the first half, and then the rest of my profits right here for the second half. And that was just off this one trade right here. I only took one trade today. So we'll keep I mean, obviously we'll keep looking for entries here. We'll keep looking for entries, but I'm not going to force anything, of course. Nice, Sam got it in too. Sam got it right there. Let's see. Talisha said, what about that pattern? Come on, confirming candle at 842 to 840. I think you're on a different time. So, all right, Talisha, you said 842. I'm assuming you meant 642 my time. Yeah, so for the sell down here, I think you were talking about this one over here because there was only one confirming on this one here, which was this one. So this was the only confirmation that I had, but it was way up here. This one over here wouldn't be confirming because it didn't really engulf this candle. It was a big candle, but it didn't engulf it. You want it to be engulfing the other one. There's two patterns that I look for, and I'll put them right here. Two price action patterns I look for when identifying reversal, continuation, confluence. I look for a V1 variation, which is a double body or double wick off high, low. Or I look for engulfing candle pattern, following candle or candle completely engulfs prior. So these are the main things I look for, guys, when I'm looking, like these are the main confluences I look for the reversal. So for example, right here, price is pushing up and see how prices were tracing down. This right here is an engulfing pattern. So I don't take this as my actual entry, but I take this as confluence. So like if I see a bottom kind of bottoming out, like for example, right here, see how this bottomed out? There was an engulfing candle right here. So this bottomed out, and I'm like, okay, engulfing candle. I could have possibly entered down here if I wanted to. Like if I really, really wanted to, I could have entered from down here and then rode this up to the target because there was a liquidity target right here, right? So you could have rode this back up to the target. The thing is, if you get in really early, it's a little risky. So like for me, I would have probably just waited for this here, and then I would have maybe have gotten in right here. The only problem that when price got to this point is that we had all these red flags starting to flare up around this area. But I probably wouldn't take the first one. But this one right here, I'm like, okay, this is now starting to look good. And this one over here is okay, this is starting to look really good because you have three engulfing that line up right after each other. You have one right here, you got one right here, and you got one right here. So you got three of these patterns over here kind of indicating like, all right, price is ready to flip back to the other side. You know, it's time to maybe like get into that position. And then on top of that, we had the MPS V2 that came up right here. So that was like, there's so many confluences indicating that the buy here was a good move. And on top of that, we had price over here. It was right here, right within the structure. And we're trying to get out of this structure, like I mentioned this morning. And that was in the direction of our trade anyways, because I said, I'm looking for price to push out of here for me to take entries. So there's just a lot of different confluences here that you guys can use. I mean, the more confluences you have, the better, right? So again, right here, see how price is pushing up. If I start to see price turn the other way, so we have price pushing this way, right, to the other side. If I start to see price push the other way, and I start to see, okay, we have like some sort of engulfing right here, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Like right here, this is not a double body or a double wick. It looks like it might be, but it's not. They're on different levels. If I was to see a double body or a double wick projection right here, then I'm like, okay, this is probably where price is turning. And that's where I would put the red bar. Because I'm like, all right, at this point, I'm looking for price to come back down. And once I see this coming down, I would be looking for an engulfing pattern or something down here to confirm this. Like I look for a V1 here for reversal, then I look for engulfing, and then I look for the MPS V2, which is Baroque strategy, right? Because they don't have two confluences up here. And then I'm like, all right, if I get that MPS V2 down here, this entry is probably gonna be really good. So that's kind of like my thought process behind it, guys. I'm looking for multiple confluences here. Again, we don't have the reversal here yet. That's why I'm still looking for possible buys at this point. The thing is, we've already used the buy right here. So I'm not looking to take a second entry because I already took my buy, which is right there. So I need to wait for a retracement. I need price to kind of retrace down and then come back up. And then once it does, it's going to restart my process of looking for an entry here. I know it might be like a lot of information, but like once it starts to make sense, like once it starts to, it's kind of like discovering like the final puzzle piece there. Like the thing with trading is like you're solving a puzzle every day, like a logical puzzle. But the thing with trading is that it does every day is a new day. So I'm always looking for these types of patterns. It's not always going to come up as nice as this one. I think this one is probably one of the nicest examples that I can ever show you guys. I'm probably going to take a note of this date here because this year there was just so many confluences. I would maybe see like maybe one or two confluences, but this one had three. So engulfing, 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 plus entry. And that's why I took it. I probably should have held on to it longer, but we were at the sessions. So that was a no for me, of course. Yeah, Christian said January is a game of red flags. There's a lot of red flags everywhere. I mean, there's a ton of them. Did you see an inside bar here? Yeah, so there was an inside bar right there, Christian. But yeah, again, like you said, it's a game of red flags. Um, I haven't seen any V1 variations here. There was one right here. There's a V1 pattern, but there was already a buy signal. Christian was asking me yesterday, like when is it going to be time for him to change strategies, right? Because when we initially started this year, I said, okay, I'm probably going to stick to V1 variation and momentum reversal. The only problem is that none of those entries have came up it's maybe came up, I'd say a max of like maybe 5 times this month. So it's tough because I do want to stick to the game plan that I initially started the year off with, but there just hasn't been any entries. If you look back over here, there's like not one V1 variation. I mean, there's a V1 pattern here, but this is not a V1 variation. You need a pending momentum. There's also another V1 right here, double wick, but there's no pending momentum. And then looking at these inside bars, there's like no inside bars here. The only inside bar is down here, but again, there's like no pending momentum. So, it's tricky. But I was telling Christian, like, give it until like February 1st. If anything, you can do what I'm doing right now. Like I'm substituting the strategies right now, or I'm just adding one more strategy, which is this MPS V2 with confluence into my, basically my playbook. I was trading a little more discretionary last week, but now that we have this specific strategy, I'll use the discretionary stuff for confluence and then I'll take this for entry. Because like ideally I would have taken the engulfing candle here. I probably would have gotten in down here for like 10 points. And I probably would have gotten right here for 10 points as well. But this is a better confirmation that we've found now that is good for actual entry. Let's see, Valentina said entered a few seconds early on the breakout, although it worked. Yeah, I would enter early on the breakout if the time and sale showed. So like right here on this time and sales, if we had the breakout and I saw a bunch of like if this was all green, then I would have gotten in early. That's exactly why I took this entry over here early, because on this candle, my time and sales here, this was all green. So I was like, okay, this is for sure going to push up because there's so many buy orders. And that's why I hopped into it right away. We have another engulfing right here. Okay, so this is actually a pretty nice pattern here. It's an engulfing with a double body rejection below. I think price here is kind of flat though, so I wouldn't necessarily be, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking it, but this is an engulfing right there. So I'm gonna go and draw a box right there. See, we're having some consolidation right here. This isn't really where you want to trade, but we do have an engulfing. So this is a key thing to look at. The reason why I say this is key is because if price does break out of this area, it's probably going to be a buy. So we have that engulfing right there. So what I would look for is look for price to break out of here and push up higher. But you guys can see that the buyers have been in control for a while. I have this green line marked up right here at 649, and price has not come down since. It's been pushing up ever since we got to this point down here. Looking at the clean chart, the clean chart pushed up quite a bit. SR chart. All right, so we got the SR chart right here. I mean, you guys can see how messy it is. This is a huge, huge mess right here. Not a mess, but this is a huge whipsaw. It happened right here on open. Market opened up at 630, pushed up, whipsawed down below, and it whipsawed all the way back up. So you guys can see how this trap here was set up, right? It lured in buyers initially. It came down and lured in sellers, and then it wiped them all out. This is why I don't like taking the breakout right now, because this is typically what happens. You get screwed on either side. You can take a buy, get 50 points. You can take a sell, take a full loss. Doesn't really matter which direction you take. All right, we got price climbing up higher. So look at that breakout that I was telling you about, right? I'm not going to take this, but I do anticipate this to push up higher, guys. So looking at this right here, I do anticipate this to, because this is an engulfing candle right here. I just don't feel comfortable because it's so far out extended. See how price pushed up so far? We have this right here. This is an engulfing candle. See how this green candle is eating this red one? This is a confirmation of reversal. We had the same pattern as down here. We had an engulfing right here. We have three engulfings actually. So we have an engulfing right here, engulfing right here, and right here. So I'm expecting price to push up. Let me check the time and sales to see who's in control right now. I think it's just a little tricky because of the volatility. It's like so flat right now. If the volatility was higher, I would have been more inclined to take it. But right now, looking at the time and sales, it's pretty mixed. You have some sellers trying to push price back down, but we'll see if it holds. So the last time we had big orders come in was at 623. Just right now, we had about 20 orders come in for sells, but the buyers are still in control. There we go. The buyers are pushing price up higher. They're really trying to fight price right now. It's the time and sales is pretty mixed, but the buyers are controlling right now. Yeah, there's a lot of buyers that are pushing price up. So my entry would have happened right here. I don't know if there's any other targets. Stop loss would have been right there, 30 points. The next target's up here. I mean, it's a pretty far push up to 149 points. Yeah, the volatility is too low. In order for it to reach that up, it's pretty high. There has to be some sort of catalyst to push price up there. I mean, I think price will probably reach that point, probably by the end of the day, but I don't really see anything here. So here's the market structure bias. Again, like I said, we want to look for price to stay up here, and we want to look for entries up here. Let me take a look at the volume chart. So the volume's kind of dead up here right now. The point of control is right here. If you guys are familiar with this, if you guys don't know how the volume chart works, These bars right here, it's the volume range, volume profile. For this here, this indicates like where all the big orders are sitting. All the big orders, or where all the big executions happen, we're down here. So you can see there's not a lot of volatility up here because a lot of big orders haven't been filled or pretty much placed right here. If you look down here, these are all pretty small. The longer the volume bar, the more orders which were filled around this specific area. So because there's no volume here, you might just get a flat marker, you might just get consolidation this whole way. So I wouldn't really mess with any trades around this point. But ideally, if there was volatility, this is the type of trade that I would have taken because we just have so many confluences here for a buy. I'll keep following it. I'll look at the time and sales. The time and sales right now are pretty much, they're just fluctuating back and forth. There's a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers in the market. They're not necessarily one-sided. Let me take a look at the big orders. Looking at the big orders over here, mainly sell orders have been coming in. The last sell order came in, a big cluster at 725 about a minute ago. They came in with about like 20 contracts for a sell. They came in bunches of two, so they just kept entering two contracts. So they're not really big orders. They're not like a big, they didn't try to push anything through. They're like slowly feeling the market for a sell here. I think they're expecting price to turn, but I don't think price here is going to turn, especially if we keep getting these engulfing patterns over here. So I'm just looking back, the best way to analyze the market is just to look left. So if you're in a position right here, just look left for confluences. The confluence right here is engulfing, engulfing, engulfing. This is all V1 and engulfing. So I do think price will push up. I just don't know if price will push up here. Like this target's kind of, it's pretty far out. So I don't think it's gonna go that far. I'll set like little targets here. So like maybe a 20-point target. There you go. 20 points got hit right there. See like a 40-point target. $60. So I mean, it's playing out. Like my analysis here is playing out, right? It's looking good. It's just like I said, I don't think this is like a good area to be trading because the volatility is so low. If I see some fat orders come in from the time and sales, and okay, maybe I'll get in for like a little push. But as of now, I just don't feel comfortable with this right here. It's just there's not enough volatility to push price where I need it to go. The last thing I want to do is get caught in this limbo here. And then all of a sudden I get a reversal pattern, right? Like say, for example, I get a V1 pattern the opposite way, or I get an engulfing candle the opposite way. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, Sam said 44,972. Love to try to buy on the break and retest for a 280, but it may not come back. Yeah, I don't know if it'll come back, Sam, because like I said, the confluences here, they're too good for a buy, right? So my analysis here is playing perfect. It's the same thing that happened here earlier. See the repeat in the pattern. Now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, damn, I should have just entered the position because if you look at this here, it's literally the same pattern. You have a big candle right here, big candle right there, right? They're both engulfing. You have a smaller candle right here, smaller candle right there, both engulfing. You have a smaller candle right here, even lower. And you have this one right here. So you basically have three back-to-back engulfing, 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 breakout, engulfing, 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 breakout. I think right now it's a little too late for me to enter, so I'm not going to enter this late. Like this would be considered a FOMO trade at this point. But I'm just glad that the analysis here did play out proper because it's the same pattern. It just repeated itself again. Engulfing consolidation, two engulfing candles, breakout. Engulfing consolidation, two engulfing, breakout. So this thing over here, after it broke out, it pushed up about almost 100 points. So looking at this right here, it's at like almost 50 points. So it's like halfway there. So I'd probably be trying to reach its next leg. So if I see something good here, if I see like another engulfing that comes up, or if I see a V1 variation pattern, I can maybe get in for like a nice little move. But for the most part, it's just not, there's not enough there's not enough volatility here. Like down here, the volatility was at like 30 ATR. So like of course, price pushed up super heavy. The thing with this right here is that ATR is at 20. So like you're not gonna get it, you're not gonna get that big push that we had here earlier. You might get a slow push or a slight push, but not something like this over here. Unless the time and sales pick up. So I'm gonna keep my eye on the time and sales because if I do see some big orders come in for buys, then it might be fair game. Right now, at 7:30 and 9 seconds, about like 20 to 30 orders came in for a sell. So that's why this here is starting to push down a little bit. On this candle right here, someone dropped like about 40 contracts for a sell, and now we're having some buyers trying to push price back up. We have another 40 orders. They're not just a 40 block, they're like blocks of 5, 12, 2, and 2. So we have about like 20 contracts here for buys that are coming in, but they're kind of like split up. They're not in like one big order. So I'll keep watching here. I mean, I'll look at the time and sales and I'll see like what's going on. Or even better, like if we get a retracement, so we get a sell signal here, this is even better because then price can retrace down. And then when it comes back up, we can look for another NPSV2 or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be an NPSV2, but it could be something like that. So I'm gonna take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. This did push up about 50 points. So if you guys caught that, I mean, that was a pretty nice push to the upside. 55 points right there out of this range. The thing with this here is I don't see a reversal pattern yet for a sell. So I don't think this here is turning. Right? In order for this to turn, I need to have some sort of reversal pattern. I need to see a V1 variation from up here, or see an engulfing pattern or something of the sort to show me that, okay, price is probably going to come down from here. I don't see any of that. So there's nothing here specifically indicating that price is coming down yet. This might just be another retracement, which I'm fine with. I want this to retrace down a little bit so that when this comes back up, I'll look for that reversal to the upside. And so the way that I'm analyzing the market, guys, it's very discretionary, right? I'm just looking for little things. There's no like cookie cutter thing here to look for. The only cookie cutter thing that I can look for really is going to be like an actual V1 variation entry, which obviously we don't have here, or an NPS V2. Let's take a look at liquidity. There's a lot of liquidity kind of just sitting down here right now. So this could be a break and retest of that too, break and retest of liquidity. There's just so many different ways to analyze the market, guys. This is why I always tell you guys there's no one way to analyze. You can analyze it however you feel comfortable, whatever you feel is your style of analyzing the market. Use that, right? Whether it be clean charts, like we have a clean chart over here, of course, looking at the levels. This can show you that, okay, price is having trouble getting past this 50 mark right here, 45,050. And it's now consolidating here sideways. Or if you trade support and resistance, you can use this chart over here, or use something similar and mark up your support and resistance. You can see the support. Well, this was a resistance. Price actually never came back to retest it. So I consolidate here, retest, and come back up before it establishes a new, range up here. I mean, realistically, it looks like price is kind of just ranging here anyways. It doesn't even have to be anything nice. Right, consolidation right there for support and resistance. The good thing is that we're in our bias right now. So the market structure, it looks like the market is moving efficiently. Like I said before, this down here, this is yesterday's close, this black line. And this box indicates, so if you look at this box down here, this box right here is going to indicate the open close range or the closing range from yesterday. So this is where market was yesterday for market close. We want price to stay outside of this area. If price stays outside of this area, the market's moving efficiently because it's creating new highs and new lows. If it stays within this area right here, it's inefficient because it's staying within the old high lows, right? It's like stuff here has never gone anywhere. So the good thing is that the market is moving efficiently outside of yesterday's range. The only downside is that we're currently consolidating within this area here as well. So Go here. I know a lot of people like sometimes they want to make things look super fancy. You don't have to make things look fancy, guys. Just draw wherever you see on the chart. Like for example, I see consolidation right here, so I'm just drawing a random box. Like I'm not exactly at the high and I'm not exactly at the low. I'm just drawing a nice box right here so that you guys can see this is consolidation. Christian said, I'm just gonna wait for the red candle to close. He said that 10 minutes ago, and then now I said it's internal possible red candle. It's been pending for a while now. So this red candle's been kind of opening and closing for the past 10, 15 minutes. And it hasn't really gone to that point. Thanks, Sammy. I sense it. FYI, all-time high is approaching. Perfect. A lot of people are scared to trade around all-time highs. I actually like all-time highs because I can look at the time and sales and I can see who's in control. If like they keep pushing price higher, then price will probably keep climbing. And if it doesn't, if the sellers come in, then it can show that okay, that is the all-time high, and the price is probably going to swing down from there. What I would look for, since we are getting close to the all-time highs, I would look for some sort of reversal pattern, right? Look for a V1 pattern and then look for more confluences to follow. If you look at this over here, guys, it's not ready to turn. I don't think price is ready to turn to the downside yet. And the reason for that is because we don't have any V1 variation patterns. We don't have any engulfing patterns. We don't have anything here yet. So I think price is just consolidating and it's probably going to swing right back up, especially because looking at this right here, see how we have this engulfing candle that's setting up? We got about 10 seconds left on this candle. If this candle here closes, I think price is going to be bullish again. This is showing that the buyers are back in control. Well, they've been in control this whole time. So they've been in control since like 649 right here. Sellers never re-entered the market. They never was able to push price down. So since this green line right here, buyers have been in control. They're still in control now. They're still in control, and they've been for about almost an hour now. Looking at the time and sale, there's a lot of buy orders that just got filled in right here. I saw about 30 orders get filled in. They're all one contract. So either it's one person who's starting to flood the market with buys, or there's just a bunch of people starting to piggyback on this buyer here. We got some sellers that are trying to push price down, but the buyers are still in control. There's more buyers in the market right now. So the same analysis that I gave you guys earlier, we have an engulfing right here. I mean, if I felt comfortable with taking trades here, I would have taken a trade right here at this engulfing, honestly. For me, this is just kind of where I would have taken it. 20 points or even 10 points, you could trade within the range. Look at that right there, 20 points. That would have been nice. I just don't like trading in the range like this. I analyzed this properly because you can see I called that out, right? I said, look at the engulfing candle right here. If this engulfs, it's probably going to push up higher, and that's exactly what's happening. The initial target here that we were aiming for is still pushing through, guys. So that 164 point move that I talked to you guys about earlier for this is a liquidity target right here. I do think price will hit that point. I don't know when it'll hit it, but it'll probably hit it at some point. So the good thing with this is that we have the momentum. So we have just a lot of confluences here pointing towards the upside, right? We have a buy signal. We have the buyers in control. We have a bunch of engulfing candles right here. We have the time and sales indicating that buyers are still pushing price up higher. The only problem is that we are getting closer to the all-time high, like Sam mentioned. So this is where you want to be careful because at this point, you want to keep an eye out for reversals. So if you guys are taking buys here, which is great, keep taking your buys. But as soon as you see some sort of reversal pattern, like if you see something where price is turning the other way, then I would immediately close out of your position. I would get out of the buys and I would just wait. The good thing is that there's no reversal patterns here yet. So I think, the buys are still good until I see some sort of price action indicating that price is ready to turn. Then in that situation, of course, then I'll look for that to happen. But right now, we just don't have that. And I wish market wasn't just consolidating like this. I would have been willing to take these entries. That market got me kind of bored now. Not bored, but it's got me yawning. All right, so we'll keep looking. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out. So if you guys have anything you want me to cover, let me know. It's weird. Whenever I ask that, like I tell people I'm here to help, people always ask me like, why am I trying to help? The thing is, I believe in good karma, guys. So like the thing is, I always put myself out there to help people, and it always comes back to me. Like initially, we were kind of struggling for the past couple of weeks because like our entries weren't coming up, right? Thankfully, Brock came up with this variation to the NPS. Like I would never have thought of this NPS criteria. Um, there's a family of NPS type strategies. So NPS style strategies. There's obviously the momentum pullback scalp, which is what we initially started with. And then there's a momentum pullback scalp V2, and there's a market flow, market flow V2, right? These are all pretty much the same type of strategies. And the fact that I've been offering my help to people is they come up with ideas like I would have never came up with this unless like, someone mentioned it to me because the NPS is a good strategy. The only problem with the NPS is that a lot of times it just doesn't get filled, right? That is they just never get filled. Like for example, we had NPS over here kind of pushed up. Like this retraced down, but then it would have never filled to the whole number down here. There's the NPS right here, never would have filled because the whole number is down here. Right there. Like you'd keep following these NPSs and they would just never fill. This one would fill finally, but this would have taken forever. You would have missed out on this whole push. And the NPS would have filled right here and it would have like basically barely pushed up. Or you would have gone in for like 10 points or so. So yeah, these are all different NPS style strategies. Like we didn't really come up with something brand new, it's just different entry points for it. Like NPS momentum pullback scalp, this was an entry at the nearest 10th. The market flow, that was pretty much at the pivots. Now the NPS V2 is now just basically the next candle. But I use different confluences though. So I'm not just entering just because. Hey Christian, yeah, Christian said, by the way, Sean, I heard it rained on Cali. That's awesome. Yeah, it just rained pretty recently. So I think, or I hope all of the wildfires are gone. I don't know, I can't say it's crazy. It's kind of a bad thing though, Christian, because you know how all those wildfires happen? Now there's gonna be mudslides everywhere. It's all like dirt. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's gonna help with containing the fires that are around the area. But it's a bad thing because now we got mudslides all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said no roots holding the dirt, everything burned. Yeah. So the good thing is that it's not raining super hard. So it's enough rain to put out the fires, but it's not enough rain to cause like flooding and stuff, which is good. And I hate the rain, honestly, guys. I just don't like the rain. But I live in California. The rain is something else here. Whenever it rains here, it's just all the drivers suck on the street. It's like you can't do anything. It's cold. It's like first world problems here in California when it rains. All right, there's nothing coming up right here, guys. I'm still looking for opportunities for entry. We do have an engulfing right here, which is the other way. So this is one of the reversal patterns that I was telling you guys to look out for. It's not a strong one, so I don't think it's like something to really be worried about. One thing that I would be worried about is if you get a V1 variation off a high. Because like we talked about earlier, we're getting closer and closer to the all-time high. So as we get closer to the all-time high, if you see a double body or a double wick rejection, you want to be careful because that's a reversal pattern. If that happens, there may be a flip back to the downside. But we don't have that yet, so there's nothing here to worry about. Obviously you can see here price is just consolidating back and forth. So the only thing here to be worried about is possible consolidation leading into a reversal. We got a small consolidation here. It's nothing crazy. Sam said, took 20 pips to liquidity, saw engulfing. Nice, nice. Yeah. So that engulfing right there, you took that right there to the liquidity target. That's like one thing you guys can do too. Like pretty much what like Sam did here, it's not very difficult. Like if you see price consolidating, like for example, if it starts to consolidate here again, that's fine, right? Let it consolidate, let it come down. And when it comes down, if you get an engulfing down here or a V1 pattern, double body, double wick, catch that bounce, write it back up. Quick 20 points right there. So you gotta be reactive to the market, guys. Like, don't be, I know a lot of people just kind of like to hang out and not do anything and like wait for the trade to come to them. The thing is like, yeah, you can trade that way, but I think you can be way more profitable and you can be in and out of the market a lot faster if you're able to analyze and just be proactive with the market. Like this entry over here, I probably wouldn't have taken it if I was just like doing nothing. I was able to identify those confluences back here, so that's why I took that one there specifically. Um, Same with this here. I mean, if I see something good here, then obviously, okay, so here's your double wick rejection, guys. This is where you might want to start to be careful. There's a double wick rejection right there. This is a reversal pattern. So this might be a shift back to the downside. What I would look for next is I would look for an engulfing candle to follow. So I would look for this here to come down a little bit, retrace, engulf it, and come back down further. And if you see that down there, then this could be a confirmation of reversal. If this here pushes past this higher high and it invalidates it, then obviously it's not going to be the pattern's going to be invalidated. But I'm looking over here at let's see, I'm looking at the time in sales. We had one big buy order come in at 7:46 and 24 seconds. So literally on this specific candle right here, it was big candles pushing up. We had a big, huge buy order came in. It was like a 10 contract, 2 contract, 10 contract. So about like 40 contracts came in right there. They're not ready to let price come down yet. So the buyers are still in control. Yep, buyers are still in control. So this is going to be invalidated. Well, this high here got invalidated, right? Like I said, if this candle pushes past it, now you have an engulfing to the other side. See this big green candle? This is a pattern to look for a buy now, actually. The target still hasn't gotten hit. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, the target is still there. That 100-point target that we were looking at earlier. So the same one that we talked about down here. So this entry is still running, guys. I mean, it's been running forever, but it's still running. So if you guys remember this one, I marked this up. It was about 163 points. It's climbing up. It's not there yet. So this is one that I would have been okay taking if the volatility was higher. Volatility is too low right now. I can't get trapped in a position for that long. It would mess with my trade psychology. All right, here's something to look out for again, guys. This might be, if this candle closes red, this could be a double body rejection, another reversal pattern. Only if it closes red though. So like if you guys want to practice this, I mean, you guys can just look at price action patterns like a pinball machine, right? Just look at price action patterns pushing up, look at price action patterns pushing down. Because once you get good at looking at price action patterns, it'll like open up a whole different game, like a whole different playing field for you. Because like the thing is, I have strategies that work very well, but they kind of need like some sort of confluence. Like they're good on their own, but they're even better when you do have a confluence in play. Like this momentum signal, since this momentum signal has been running, this is a confluence for me too to only look for buys, right? Because you can see we have a buy signal. The trend here is super bullish with regard to the pivots. The trend meter is also green. Like I just have a lot of confluences. You're indicating that, okay, buys here are the obvious go, but the price action patterns is what's going to indicate, okay, when do we need to pull out of these buys, right? Because technically we could have entered buys like way down here. Like I think when price broke the pivots, this would have been an okay area to just buy and then hold. Buy and hold until you had some sort of reversal pattern come up. Like for example, I could have bought right here, held it, and then just sold right here at 100 points because there was a double body rejection. So I'm like, all right, this is probably where price can flip. I'm out. There's a lot of different ways to analyze the markets, guys, not just one way. 7:49 right now. We're getting closer and closer to 8 o'clock, guys. Again, if there's questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes or so. I was hoping we would be able to hoping to see this reach the target. Or we might, we have 10 minutes left. So I mean this target might hit within the next 10 minutes. I just want to see my analysis here play out. So we've been following this analysis from down here. I mean, technically, so this thing could have been taken even earlier. Like this thing could have been taken all the way from down here. Like if you wanted to hold this from down here, probably could have, but I would have pulled out right here at the double body. But from right here, there hasn't been any reversal pattern since. Are you in this, bro? That's crazy if you've been holding on to this one. Yeah, Broxton's still holding. Christian said today was like looking for a closed signal and an engulfing after retracement strategy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, today was a good day to see these engulfing patterns kind of play out. The engulfing patterns don't come up all the time and they're not always good, but today it was pretty smooth. It was just a repeat pattern, right? Like if you guys look at the pattern that happened here, it's the same thing that happened for my earlier entry down here. I just want to see, I'm not even in this position, but I want to see my analysis play through. Almost there. It's reaching for the liquidity target right there. How many points? It's actually really close now. It's about 40 points away. I wish I got in right here. I was a little tempted to get in right here, but the volatility just kind of threw me off. It's the ATR is so low. So the thing is, I don't like when the market's too slow like this because the time in sales is like hard to read. Because when volatility is too slow, it's like, all right, there's not enough orders in the market, so I can't really formulate a bias with regard to but I mean it looks good here. Let me see. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this so that you guys can see. Like these are just the big orders. Okay, so let me put this in my Discord. All right, so let me show you real quick. Yeah, so if you guys, and let me just save it, it's just easier. Okay, so looking at this right here, see how like there's a bunch of buy orders right here? Bunch of buy orders, right? Like they're like in control right now. So I'm like, damn, I should have got it because you can see when the buy orders came in, like 751, 750, 749, like a lot of big buy orders came. These are like the bigger buy orders. They're not the smaller ones, the bigger ones. Like anything above like one contract. See all these buyers right here? They just flooded the market. So like when I saw this coming in, I was like, all right, maybe I should get in right here. Let's look at the timestamp. So at 7:48 was when the buyer started to really push price. And it was like around here. So my entry would have happened right here. And if I would have just held on to it, the buyers would have just continued to push price up even higher. So that's why I use this as a confluence. I don't just use this as like standalone. I like using it to like just confirm like, all right, the buyers are in control. So in this situation, just hold the position. Like just hold it down for as long as you can. Uh thing is I don't like holding on to the position for like more than 5 minutes or so. So Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. So when I look at the time and sales and I tell you guys like, hey, there's a lot of big buy orders coming in, this is what I mean. Like there's a 1-7 contract, 2-2-2-2. So this is like, almost 20 contracts right there. We got 10 contracts right there. When they're dark green like this, I have them color coded. So like when they're dark green like this shows that it's an outside order. This means that they forced this buy entry in. Like they didn't care what price they got in at. They just wanted to get in. So these here are normal orders, the lime green. The dark ones are like they forced a buy order in there. They didn't care what price they got in, they're just like get me in. Uh right there, same with those. There's not as many cells here. So it's pretty and this is what I see on my laptop. So I have my laptop over here. I just have one laptop open right now. It's for my scalping. And this is what I see on the screen. This is my full screen. So yeah, it looks pretty good. We got some team profits here. So we got Mickey over here. Mickey just signed up to our group. I met him in another group. I don't know if he's on this live right now, but Mickey, he's here. Yeah, he's been killing it right here on NQ. He showed me his trades from yesterday using the indicators, killed it. So he locked in 7,087 and 34 cents. That's amazing. Nice work right there, Mickey. So let me see if I have that screenshot that you sent me yesterday. Yeah, like these are his trades he took on Nasdaq during London. He killed it. Like these are like beautiful trades right here. Basically pivot scalps. He took in this direction. He basically caught. It looks like he caught the bounces. So price came down, retested the pivots, rode that down, tested the pivots, rode that down, tested the pivots, and he took that down even further. So like beautiful trades right here. 4 back-to-back wins on Nasdaq. Mickey doesn't even trade YM. He trades Nasdaq, but he's killing it. And today he traded YM, so he did both. 1 sell on NQ and 1 buy on YM. Crazy profits right there. So solid work, Mickey. I wish I had this right here, the total, so I don't have to add mine up, but I have to do mine. Unfortunately, I have to do mine manually. So Brock over here just recovering a little bit from his trades that he took pre-market, which is all good, Brock. It happens. So a nice little recovery there. You recouped a little bit of the loss, but yeah, if you don't have any more today, or you have 1 trade running, I believe. So maybe enough to bounce back on that there. Oh, nice. Okay, I just saw your post right here, Brock. So Brock hit his TP. He was going for 30, and Christian said, "Yeah, Brock equals nerves of steel." I can't hold a position for that long, guys. Like once I hold on to a position for like more than 5 minutes, and that's just me. It's not for everybody. Like other people can hold on to positions for like hours, if not days. For me, when I hold on to a position for like more than 5 or 10 minutes, I start to get stressed out. Like I don't know if that's the same with you guys, but for me, I for sure start to get stressed out because it just makes me wonder, like, damn, what's gonna happen next? And there goes your red signal, Christian. I know you're waiting for this for almost almost an hour now. I know this red signal's been coming up since price started consolidating down here. So it came up, disappeared, came up, disappeared. And let's see. So I don't see any patterns here indicating reversal yet, guys. I don't see any V1 variations. I don't see any engulfing. This isn't engulfing. I wouldn't consider this engulfing. So this here might swing back up actually. So if this candle here closes bigger than this red one, this could be an engulfing back up. I'm not going to take it though. It's already 8 o'clock. The volatility is too low. Yeah, there goes the engulfing, guys. So this here is now running back up even higher. Let's see if this finishes. 16 ATR, very, very slow market right now. But the buyers are still in control. The sellers never came back in. So buyers right here push price up from 649, and it's been climbing ever since. Target's gonna be right here at this liquidity. It's about 54 points of a move. The volatility is just too low though. It's not something I would necessarily take. You'd have to hold on to that position for a while. Probably at least like 5 to 10 minutes. Let me take a look at the time and sales. It's pretty mixed right now. We have a bunch of small buy orders that came in and flipped it up. Looking good though. Nice, Lamar said just practicing the micro scalp entry on the sensei. How did that go, Lamar? Because I think the micro scalps have been pretty solid, at least when the volatility was a little higher. I know the volatility died down a little bit, but looks like you probably could have done pretty decent. Did you write this right here, Sam, to the liquidity? I'm assuming that's what you did. That's what I would have done too. Looks like Sam wrote this to the liquidity target. I should have done it too. I don't know. Well, because the volatility is too low. Not that I didn't know, it's just the volatility is too low, so I didn't really feel comfortable getting into something when market's barely moving. Nice, yeah. So Sam here took that for 25 points. Yep, exactly to the liquidity target. Nice work, Sam. You guys did pretty good today. I think the target's going to hit, so I still think this higher target's going to get hit. Again, it's just going to take a matter of time until it does. Lamar said, I can tell it works, but I'm not placing them well yet. You just got to keep practicing, Lamar. Don't rush into it because, like we talked about, it's really about putting proper entries at the proper places and then just letting them run. It's not about taking every single liquidity, like every single micro scalp, right? I would probably say look for the retracement. Like for example, price can be pushing up, and if you see retracement down, then possibly that's where you would put your entry. Like for example, right here, see how price kind of pushed up, this candle retraced down. I would put the entry right there. And then I would probably not take these. I'd probably wait for this to kind of push down a little bit. Retracement right there. Put the entry like right there. Shot up. Retracement right there. Entry right there. Shot up. That's like 3 back-to-back wins there, right? You got 1. You got 2. You got 3. You just got to be a little selective with your entries. I know I don't explain that in the strategy very much, but it just kind of comes with like your ability to analyze the market and like, because obviously you're going to take like 20 trades, you're going to have some losses in there. But if you can like kind of pinpoint the ones that are good and the ones that are not going to be so great, that'll help a lot as well. All right, let's see. All right, Christian's done. Brock said super great call. Yeah, no, definitely, guys. All right, guys, it's past 8 o'clock, so I think I'm done for the day. The volatility is pretty flat. Again, I do think price will push up, but it's just going to be a matter of time until it actually reaches this point. It's the volatility is too low, so we might just get some consolidation here for the next hour or so until it actually hits. But if you guys want to come back and take a look at this later, just mark up this mark right here, 45,176. That's where I'm expecting target to get hit eventually. Might not happen right now, but maybe in a few hours it'll probably hit. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So Mickey, thanks for sending me this. I'll message you right now. He's using this in the affordable indicators one. I was going to use that one before I used a Replicano, but I just went with Replicano because it seemed like the more legit one, but they're all the same. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. Let me go and just add up my profits real quick. I don't even know if I can add up my profits because I got way too many here. Let's see. Let's just guesstimate. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna put this right here. I think I'm gonna put like 2,000 for the hedge accounts. And then let's go over here. I'm just gonna guesstimate this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 16, 17, 18. Let's say about like, okay, so plus 17,000. Now let's go down here. 1, 2. Let's say 9. Okay, so today for just the day, I locked in approximately 28,000 for the day. I don't know the exact number, guys. This is like way too many numbers for me to add, but these are my profits that I locked in for today. So I can just save these real quick. And I got that. So basically, here was my account from earlier, and then these are all my profits. It's just way too much for me to add up, guys. I wish I could find an easier way to add these up, but these are all my profits for the day, which I think it adds up to about 28,000 for just for today. And then for the week, obviously, like maybe double that. So maybe like closer to like 30,000-40,000, of course. But yeah, so far so good, guys. It's been a great week. We'll continue on with this week tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think this will hit target by end of today. But if not, it's fine. I just want to make sure that the analysis does play through so that I can feel more confident about my analysis tomorrow. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, be back here same place, same time tomorrow. Let's see, Daniel says should just highlight them and pop them into Excel when you need to add it. Oh, does that work? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna try to do that right now. Well, not right now, but I'll do it off the live session. And I'll see if that does it for me. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same place, same time, as we continue on with this trading.